Hello, welcome to CityView. I'm your host, Marissa Monroy. When most of us think about our first responders, we automatically envision our firefighters and police. But there's another team of individuals whose work is just as critical. Learn more about Austin Energy's team of line workers from one of their own.
Every job has its ups and downs. But for Austin Energy linemen like Wesley Lawrence, it's not only all in a day's work, it's also all in the family.
So my dad started out at Austin Energy. He was the first person to really work here, but I've had two uncles that have worked here. I have two nephews that work here in distribution. 2911. And then now my son works here in design.
Father of 7 and a veteran line worker for the past 27 years, Lawrence is one of a very special team of first responders that work to keep our lights on and power humming throughout the city 24/7.
You'll get phone calls at all time of the night. You're going to be expected to work storms. You're going to be expected to work weekends.
Line workers like Wesley keep their skills sharp, whether at Austin Energy's training site or through participation in line worker rodeos across the country.
Yeah, we compete. Last year we competed in Texas, the International, and then APPA we just got done with. And it's a skill builder for the younger linemen. They get to learn things they've never seen here.
In addition, Wesley and his fellow line workers have regularly volunteered to travel over 800 miles to the Navajo Reservation in Arizona and New Mexico to participate in Light Up Navajo Nation, a cooperative venture that brings power to isolated Navajo homes and families that have never had electricity.
Light Up Navajo Nation, you go out there, you will be building tap lines or feeder lines out to customers that haven't had power for 3 or 4 generations, and you may be setting 60 poles and building new power lines up to 7-8 miles long to feed one customer out on the reservation. I've been to hurricanes all over the United States when I worked with contractors and stuff like that, and that's really the first time I've ever seen anything like that, where you're building 60 poles for one customer out in the middle of nowhere, and people that have been waiting for power for generations. It's very, I guess you say, humbling. So I think you just build a relationship with the guys because you spend more time with them than you do with your family, to be honest with you. I mean, when you're running storms, you're with them for basically 24 hours out of the day, so you build very strong relationships.
So this is my nephew, Justin Bates, and now he's cooking.
Some of these guys are like family around here. You build a family within here.
These Austin Energy first responders share a deep bond of public service and camaraderie, a bond that will continue into the next generation.
On planet Earth, we're all connected in the web of life, and it's up to us to use all of our resources responsibly. Through a partnership between the Office of Sustainability and local nonprofit Creative Action, young artists are learning how to create sustainably.
Can y'all point out things that were either reduced, reused, or recycled? Cardboard.
So we're at Creative Action, and right now we're in summer camp.
Good job, y'all. I love your ideas.
We're right behind our Web of Life install.
This is a big spider web with a bunch of little bugs in it made from things that people reuse. I made a ladybug. I love ladybugs. They're so cute.
By using recyclable materials, we create this immersive environment where students can contribute to this web and feel connected to one another.
I made a beetle out of pipe cleaners, googly eyes, pool noodle, and some bottle tops.
It's inspired by the Navajo creation myth of the Web of Life.
It basically focuses on indigenous folklore, traditional like stories of like Spider-Woman and Navajo tradition. They believe that she is kind of like the creator of life. So this just taps into this idea that like we need to protect the environment and be conscious of like how we're creating things.
You get to like dig around in a bucket of stuff and you get to be like, oh, this is perfect. And you get to like cut and shape it out how you want.
Kids are creating anything that's kind of like coming out of their imagination, which is like amazing.
I made a scorpion. It has this throwaway fabric. All this stuff is stuff that people was like, hey, this looks fun to use. Use. Oh, I don't need this. Throw away. And like, hey, we can make some bugs out of this and put it on the big bug wall. And I was like, yeah, we can do that.
I think it's really great that the city is partnering with like other organizations like Creative Action to create a project like this. By having that partnership, we're creating something that kids are really tapping into and also inspiring them to figure out how they can also participate in that.
I think becoming the person who remakes stuff and makes artwork out of it has been really inspirational for me.
Because sometimes I feel like there's not as many opportunities for kids to really see like what is art, how can I be part of that, and inspire them to become future artists. So I really appreciate that y'all supported us in this way.
We recycled and made amazing bugs that look the same if we just bought a bunch of tools, and I think that's really cool.
So let's go back to the room and start brainstorming.
To see what else the Office of Sustainability is up to, check out their website at austintexas.gov/sustainability. The wait is finally over. The newly renovated Zilker Park mini train, the Zilker Eagle, is back on track. Continuing its 60-plus year history, families and riders from all around the country showed up on opening day to ride the latest iteration of the Zilker train. ATXN was there to catch the excitement, so let's hop on board.
This day is incredible. It's a long time coming. Turns out building a miniature train is not as easy as you might think. And so after a couple of years of a lot of setbacks, we're finally ready to welcome people back onto the train, and we're super excited.
I was excited when I learned that the train was reopening. The last time we were here, Emma was maybe about 6 months old. She was a baby. She was 2.5 over here. And my little one hadn't even been born. So this is his first time on the train. And this is a big deal for us. I'm so excited.
Are y'all excited to ride the train?
Yeah, absolutely. 5 years.
I've ridden a pretty long time ago myself, but now that we have me and my wife have a toddler, we wanted to bring them out and kind of experience the whole train ride and let them soak it in a little bit. You know, Zilker Park is one of the main attractions of Austin, and for the train to be reopening, that's good stuff. So
We rode it every year when he was a newborn till when it closed. And so we're here to continue the tradition.
Yeah. And I'm excited that they changed the name because the Zilker Eagle sounds cool.
All right, everybody ready? On three, I want you to say all aboard. 1, 2, 3. All aboard! All right, this is a party train. All right, we're ready.
The Zilker Zephyr went down about 5 years ago after the floods of 19, I believe, and there's some erosion where it used to turn around, and if you know the old train track route, it all rides along a ridge, and that entire ridge is falling off the cliff. And so the cost to sort of make that fix was beyond what the former concessionaire wanted to take on. And so they decided to move out, and the city asked us, the Austin Parks Foundation, if we would help bring the train back. And we initially thought we would just get it fixed. And then we ended up being the one to build a new one and build new tracks and figure out the new route. And it's taken longer than we'd hoped, but we just hope people will come out, ride the train, enjoy it, make memories with your family just like we all have.
How was the ride, guys?
It was great. I really enjoyed people waving at us.
Yeah,
it was very
They were
nice.
very excited. We've waited 5 years for the train to come back, and we usually come 2 or 3 times a week. So we are avid Zilker train members. So they love it. It's very therapeutic for them. They look forward to it. Anything else you guys want to say? Haley, what did you think?
Awesome.
Molly, what did you think? Same with Haley. So, but we're just so happy to have it back. It runs really smooth, so colorful, and we just couldn't be happier.
You can catch a ride on the Zilker Eagle from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on most days, but be sure to plan ahead by visiting zilkertrain.org. We recently caught up with District 2 Councilmember Vanessa Fuentes to talk about inclusivity, Austin's vibrant pride community, and the city's commitment to diversity and equity for all.
Well, it's important that we as a city stand in solidarity and in support of our LGBTQIA plus community and to share our values as a community. We value inclusivity, we value being a welcoming place for everyone, all of our Austinites, both in District 2 and across all of our communities. We are stronger because of our diversity and ensuring that every single Austinite feels welcome and a part of the fabric that makes this community so wonderful is important. Well, we should celebrate our pride every single day of the year. It's not just a day or a month, it's year round. And I'm really proud of our city of Austin for everything that they do for city employees. We are a leader. We provide domestic partner benefits. We provide paid parental leave. We also provide transgender inclusive healthcare benefits to our employees. And so those are ways that the city is demonstrating our commitment and our values, and I'd love to see much more of that. With the We All Belong campaign, we really are coming together as a community and saying that we don't stand for hate. And if you do experience any type of hate, please go online to report it. There are a number of city resources available on how to report hate crimes. And there's a lot of access to information where people can go for a safe space as well.
Voted as Austin Chronicle's Best Muralist of 2024. Austin-born artist Ruben Esquivel recently completed the first mural ever painted at the historic Old Bakery and Emporium. Created in partnership with the Downtown Austin Alliance, Austin Parks Foundation, and the City of Austin Parks and Recreation Department, the mural explores the indigenous heritage of Austin and the Swedish legacy of the Old Bakery and Emporium. Let's take a look.
I'm Ruben Esquivel, and this is my newest mural, Generational Ties. Come take a look at it with me. This piece is part of a project called Writing on the Walls, put together by Downtown Austin Alliance. They started this project about 3 years ago, and from that, the community gave them ideas about what the wall should look like, what should be the subject matter of the piece. And one of the top recommendations was Native American stories and Swedish history. So I was tasked with blending the two together to create this beautiful mural. And I created 3 concepts. And of those 3, we presented those to the public again, and participants were able to put a sticker on their favorite mock-up, and this was the winner. This was actually my favorite piece. It was very difficult coming up with a way to merge both the Swedish history of the building and the Native American heritage of Austin, because they're almost kind of clashing when you try and put the two together. So I had to get very creative with how to do that. So in the background, you'll see the Swedish textile pattern that kind of weaves together both cultures. There's also the Swedish national flower, which is this bell-looking purple flower in the center. And then I also included the monarchs as a nod to the migratory history of both the Swedish and Native Americans in Texas. The hummingbird I threw in there has special meaning to me. Aztecs believed that hummingbirds were fallen warriors reincarnate. So it's just kind of like an homage to past generations and the people that came before us. I've only been painting for 3 years, but before that I was managing artists and their projects who also predominantly use spray paint. So I think over that span of time, I was kind of picking up little tricks of the trade when I would help them paint the murals and kind of putting them in my back pocket, never knowing that I wanted to be an artist or wanted to create my own work. But once I finally started to try, I think all that experience that I had put in my back pocket really came out, and I was able to use those tricks of the trade that I learned along the way, because I never thought I could paint like this. If you would have asked me 3 years ago, like, oh, can you paint a portrait? I would have laughed in your face. I'm like, there's no way. For me, I would really just love for people, especially people of color, to be able to walk down the street and be surprised by this mural and feel like they're looking at their mother, their sister, themselves, their grandmother in this piece. I mean, there's no public art in the downtown area like this, and this is one of the few murals that really showcases people of color and Texas's Native American heritage. So it's really an honor to be able to be the one to put this up, especially because I have such a connection to the city, fifth generation Austinite, and I truly believe the importance of preserving, Austin's culture. And I think that this project is just a testament to the power of community and what we can do when we come together and share ideas.
In addition to this amazing mural, the old bakery and emporium features a Swedish history museum, a fine art gallery, and artisan shop. For information on upcoming events, exhibits, and hours of operation, visit austintexas.gov/OBE. Mayor Kirk Watson recently caught up with City Manager T.C. Broadnax. They chatted about his first few months as City Manager with the City of Austin and the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for Austin.
Well, good morning, good afternoon. I'm not sure what time you'll be watching this, but I want to say welcome. My name's Kirk Watson. I'm the mayor of Austin, and I get a real privilege today, and that is to ask some questions and talk with our relatively new Austin City Manager, T.C. Broadnax. He's been with us for a little over 100 days now, and many of you have already had the opportunity to get to know him, but we're going to do a little bit of talking today just to get to know you a little bit better. And let's start with that 100 days. It's a little over 100 days now, but how you feeling about that first 100 days plus?
Mayor, it's gone by very, very fast. And I think that's only happened because I've been able to meet so many people, try to learn as much as I can, right in the middle of budget as well. Yeah. And so I think it's a great time to have come. Probably a little earlier than I expected, but I'm just glad to be here to get to learn this community. But it's been going well. I've not met anyone that hadn't been really positive about what's going on in Austin and wishing me well as the city council.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. People were excited you were coming. When I hear you say probably a little earlier than you had thought, I remember when we were making the decision about bringing you on, we wanted you to start a little earlier, so we may have pushed that a little bit, but it was because we were excited about you being here. I feel like the first 100 plus days have been pretty eventful. A lot of the things that you wanted to see done and accomplished, you've been able to carry out. Tell us a little bit about that from your perspective. How do you feel about the accomplishments other than just getting your feet under you? How do you feel about the accomplishments so far?
I think, as I would hope to count a lot more, hopefully during my tenure here, I'd say this initial 90 days, some of the things that I've set out to accomplish, a few of them I've actually done and been able to complete. Some of them I've started progress on, but one that I think I shared with the council and this community, I was actually hiring a police chief, a permanent police chief. And I tell you, Chief Henderson had done a great job, obviously, in the short time that I've been here and obviously since she's been interim. But going through that process and selecting our most recent chief that the council confirmed last week, Ms. Lisa Davis, I think was a tremendous thing for this community, and I'm excited we got that done, and I'm looking forward to her starting in September. The budget, as I commented on a little earlier, I think has been good for me. Not so much about what is in the budget and what was proposed, but hearing the feedback from the community around what more we need to be doing, their happiness about what we are doing, and watching this city council listen to the community sharing their thoughts and concerns has helped me, again, get up to speed a lot faster. I'll tell you, I've begun the process of meeting not just with the community, but actually people inside the organization And I'm excited about what I'm seeing. The way and level at which people engage and operate with our community only holds the excitement for me about what I'm hopeful to work with the council and the community as well as our employees to really try to advance over the next year.
Well, I think you mentioned three really good things that I've been impressed, and I think the council's been impressed. One is we were hopeful that you would move rapidly and get us to a permanent chief of police, although we all owe a debt to Chief Henderson, and that went very smoothly, and we're all happy with the result on that. I look forward to Chief Davis getting here as well, and the budget process is moving along, and that jumping right in the middle of that, I want to talk a minute about how you approach the budget, because I think it's going to be important for people as we go forward, but then also the way you've reached out to people. As you've reached out, let's talk a little bit about that. What do you see in the next, and I don't want to say the next 100 days, but the next more immediate time that you want to achieve? I'll tell the folks that are watching this that when we visited with you about hiring you, one of the things I was impressed with in that interview process was how you think in terms of segments of time, or at least you did in how you wanted to approach this job first coming on. That was meaningful to me. So what do you see as the kind of accomplishments you want to see in the next, not 100 days, but next more immediate period of time?
Sure. I think, and thank you for allowing me to comment on that. For me, I think the next 100 days, if not 120 days, or the next 6 to 8, 9 months, really is about continuing to learn this community. And right after, hopefully, council adopts the budget and we begin the phase of implementing the budget, one of the first things, and I'm already thinking about it, is how do I then go back and understand what was shared that seemed to be things we should be doing more of from the residents as well as the council, things that we didn't get to accomplish. One of the unique aspects I at least hope the council appreciates in the community would be the embracing of the 2-year budget.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Talk about that, because I think that's great. The 2-year budgeting process that I introduced and worked very hard with, and our budget team was great on the fly to find a way to incorporate that. One of the things that does, and that is we adopt one budget every year like the community is used to, but we actually share and depict the second year of the budget based on estimated revenues and expenses that will, at least in some cases, foreshadow what we intend to do next year, meaning either new things or how we can sustain and continue the things that we've begun to do in the current year. And so I'm excited about having that be fully embraced and understood better from the community, because it gives them a sense of calm and an understanding that the city's actually committed to and is looking forward to many of the comments that they've made to us and the things that they've desired. They can actually see it in writing a year before it shows up. And so I'm excited about that. So part of my work after this initial budget is passed and over the next 120 days is to take what I've learned from the community as well as the council and begin to work on next year's budget and help me understand it. Secondly, I'm excited about the opportunity to engage with the employees. I haven't been able to do that at the line and mid-management levels. And so we have what we're going to begin, hopefully in the next 30 to 60 days, a process called Frontline Focus. And it will be a myriad of different levels of positions that I will sit across the table from and talk to them about. Tell me what is going on in your organization that you work in. Tell me what the city is doing well, what we can do more of. Hear their ideas that I can ultimately then share, not just with the council, but with my executive team to figure out how we might actually implement those things. The one, make their work environment better. Two, maybe improve upon the product that we deliver to the public, but also just to give them a sense of belonging and the fact that they are being heard. And so I'm excited about that. That will also inform how I approach developing future budgets, as well as understanding what I need to be doing as a leader to make sure all the people that do this work, the 15 to 16,000 strong, feel like that we've got their back as we're out there trying to have them provide the services that the people in this community desire. But big issues like homelessness, I think you and I talked about that a little bit a few weeks ago, if not just yesterday, that we need to figure out how to work with our partners to help
advance. Many of the things, again, that we see and know are really very difficult for people to survive in this community. Affordability around housing, obviously, I'm focused on ensuring that we can get a meet and confer agreement resolved for our police department. Again, that will help us with recruitment and give the new chief an opportunity to look forward instead of looking backwards, and hopefully bring this community together around our law enforcement personnel to find a way to meet the community where they are. So I'm just excited.
That sounds like a busy 100 days.
It does. It does.
And you may have, as part of that, you may have answered what I was going to ask you as my next question, at least in part. But I want to expand on that. First of all, I love the idea of how, what'd you call it with your focus?
Frontline focus.
Frontline focus. I love that idea. Because I think the strength of this city in terms of its professional staff is really, I just frankly came from a meeting where I was so proud of our professional staff and how they were talking with a federal government official. But you've kind of described your leadership style in the way you've answered these questions. You listen a lot, and you take from that where you want to then go and how you want to lead. Can you expand on your leadership style a little bit for those of us that, for those that haven't been able to see you as up close as I have?
Sure. You know, and I think you hit on it. I'm a collaborator by nature. And I think, you know, since I don't get to do the work, quite honestly, my style is to ensure that I can empower people to feel comfortable doing the work. And so I've often said, particularly, my leadership style is situational. I give you as much guidance as I need to give you based on my understanding in our conversations. But if in fact you've got it and you know where you want to go, sometimes I just sit back and say, hey, well, let's go forth and conquer. You go do you and come back to me when you need me. I'm one that doesn't like to be told what to do as a manager. And I'm sure people can appreciate a manager not having to tell them what we brought them here to do, but basically support them. And so my style is situational, and I'm as close and or as far away as I need to be, and ask people to pull me in when you need me and get guidance when you need it. But also I'm just gonna let you work. And so for me, I think the power and our strength is at an individual level, but it comes together collectively if everybody is working off the same sheet of music. And so I try as a leader to ensure my team, my assistant city managers and my directors know what page we're on, and then allow their people to actually conduct and actually do and perform the way they should perform.
Great. So in the first 100+ days, I'm sure some things have kept you awake. What as you look to the future and you look to what you want to do next, what's concerning you? Things we're going to address, I'm sure, but what concerns you, or what? The way people ask that question is, what keeps you awake at night right now?
You know, I think expectations. And that is the expectations I believe people have of me being new and the administration that I'm going to lead, and how many of the things that we're going to be able to get done, how they're going to get done. So I'm not concerned about it. I'm eager to get started at it and having people be believers in, I think, the city council, your office, and our offices collectively as administrators, that we can actually deliver and make some headway on many of the things that have either been pent up frustrations and or desires, or areas, in fact, that we have not delved into as a city that we probably need to be, and or convening people to help us get there. And so those expectations, they keep me up a little bit because I'm always thinking about what is the next thing we need to be addressing and always moving. So again, doesn't scare me, but it's the expectations, and I rely on and feed off of people expecting more because I want to deliver more. And so I'm excited about that.
That's great.
And it doesn't keep me up in a scary sense. It keeps me up because I always want to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, good. I really appreciate that answer. We've talked a little bit about this building and being in this building and working here and being out in the community the way you have. And it's been, as you indicated a minute ago, it's been quick. You came on quick. So you may not have had a whole lot of time, but if somebody wants to get to know you a little bit, what is it that you're doing in your spare time, if you've got any, And if you haven't, what is it you're looking forward to be able to do once you get a little more stability under you in this job?
You know, and you hit it. I haven't had much time with the transition and moving my family here and getting my kids settled, getting them ready for school and acclimated.
And for those that don't know, talk about your kids a minute.
Sure. I've got a 16-year-old daughter and two 14-year-old boys, and just excited and love them to pieces, and just trying to help them navigate this new environment and not knowing what to expect. They've grown up half their lives in Dallas, and so for them this is new. And so it's new to me as well, but I know it's more difficult on them. So quite honestly, most of my time when I'm outside of here is spending time with them, whether out in the backyard shooting baskets or taking in a movie, and or just trying to drive around when they want to see what's going on in Austin. And so if you ask me what I'm looking forward to, it's actually settling down and starting to hear and see and go out and touch many of the things that people have shared with me that I need to experience as an Austinite. And I'm looking forward to that, but I got work to do. And so
you've been very, very busy.
If I can fit it in, I'll try to get at it.
Yeah, you've been very, very busy. So spare time has not been at a premium right now. Of course, with school starting and everything, hopefully that'll also help as part of all that. As we look to the future, tell me a little bit about how you would want your legacy to be defined. We all think about that, I think, from everybody that works in professional government and sees themselves as serving the people. They're doing it for a reason. It's part of their soul. I sense that from you. Tell me what is it, the legacy that you want from this position?
You know, one, I think good governance and people to have a perspective that whatever era I was here, the city got better. And I think any city manager only hopes to advance the ball and make things better. I would say folk often look at what they built in some cases so folk can remember either their names on walls and plaques. I'd like to say that I'd like to be remembered not for building things, but helping build people and make them better and feel stronger and feel like they belong in communities. And so as I work with this council and this community, every day I hope I'm remembered for how I leaned in and helped grew people and help grow this city's muscle around the care for the least of us and find ways to advance city efforts that support people who haven't always been supported. And I think for me, that's what I would feel. I hope my legacy is people felt like they belonged and they were a part of this city because someone respected them for who they are and where they came from, and they feel welcomed.
Well, that's a wonderful answer and aspiration, and part of the reason that we felt so good about hiring you and having you as our city manager, and part of the reason I feel so good right now that you're our city manager. I brag about you everywhere I go, and we'll continue to do that. We're going to end the interview right now, and I've not asked you what I consider to be some of the hardest questions about which taco place is your favorite taco place or which barbecue is your favorite barbecue, because I recognize you may not have time yet to have answered those questions. But I think we ought to do this on a routine basis so that people see how things are moving, and I say that as a joke, of course, but I'm looking forward to you getting into the heart of this city, because I think you're going to be a big contribution to what we're doing. So, Manager, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
And thanks to all of our professionals that take care of us every day and are true public servants. The manager and I both appreciate you a great deal.
What a great conversation. That's it for this episode of City View. Thank you for watching, Austin. As always, be sure to catch up on all of the latest information on atxn.tv, our social media channels, and on our webpage, austintexas.gov. Stay well, Austin.